Right, good morning everybody. It is officially our first day as liveaboards. We have moved onto the boat, as you saw last time, and we are officially now living aboard Ocean Melody. And the place looks like a bomb's hit it because all of our worldly belongings have come here.
Yeah.
Well, most of them.
Most of them, yeah. We've allowed ourselves a box each to go to family,
Yes.
like photos and stuff that we don't want to bring on the boat.
Yeah, a box of kind of sentimental memorabilia kind of stuff. Yeah.
And there's some tools on Still Melody and stuff that we need to finish Still Melody.
Yeah.
But apart from that, we've got rid of everything.
Pretty much everything, yeah. So the job today really is figure out what needs to go into deep storage, what needs to go into medium-term storage, what needs to go into easy access. I'm a big fan of what they call first-order retrievability, which is kind of not having to move something to get to something else, which if you watch Adam Savage's Tested, you'll know what that is. But it's virtually impossible to achieve on a boat.
Yeah, and what needs to go.
And also,
the reality is we've probably need to get rid of more stuff.
Yeah, we need to purge even more stuff. So as we're going through and figuring out, you know, what goes where, we're also figuring out that some of it is actually going to need to go, well, either to the bin or to other people.
Yeah.
So
all whilst trying to find a space to put the baby.
Yes, because he needs to either be carried or put down somewhere. So the first thing that I'm doing today, for right or for wrong, is I've emptied the forepeak because there was just loads of junk in the cupboard, in the lockers under the forepeak, and we need to empty them and paint them out really, but
That's another day.
That's another day. So I've put in there our kind of first aid supplies. I've got a first aid kit, which is kind of the grab bag if somebody gets hurt or poorly, but then I've got a kind of deep storage bag full of first aid supplies to replenish the first aid kit, if you get what I mean. So that's deep storage. And all of the things like rucksacks and holdalls and carry bags that we've used to move aboard, they're now emptied and we're putting our clothes away.
Yeah,
and
we still need them if we go on holiday.
yeah,
or
but we're not going to need them for a while, so they can all go away. And it's just a kind of carnage really. And I'm guessing as well we'll kind of change this as time goes by. It's very unlikely that we'll get this exactly right on the first hit.
Yeah, and we've still got to build shelves and all sorts of storage solutions. So yeah,
that's it.
Carry
Come and
on.
have a look in the forepeak and you'll see what I'm doing. Musical equipment, boxes of screws, cotter pins, electrical plastic P-clips, stainless steel hose clips, chandlery and fixings, electrical terminals, foam rollers, more electrical terminals, thread rivet kit, stainless steel nuts and bolts, spare drill bits, bottle screws, blocks, tackle, all that kind of stuff. Dremel tool, vise, more heat shrink, a circular saw. Right, I would call those cupboards full.
Okay, so Andy's sorted out under the beds. Now I've got to sort out on top of the bed. What are we gonna do? We're gonna sort out these clothes. Yeah?
Okay, so with the forepeak done, this area needs tackling. It's a complete and utter total mess. Woodworking tools are all at the back, sanders, saws, planes, stuff like that. Snips, pliers, cutters, multimeter. Oh, thank you. Oh, look at that. Oh, the hammers, pipe wrenches, chisels, consumables.
Having a nice hot bath. You see, when the sea's like a massive bath, except it's just not the same. It's like a nice steamy, foamy bath.
I don't know, I just think the ability to just walk out of the door and go for a walk, that's, I think, probably the most difficult thing I'm going to face living aboard is the restriction of not being able to just go out of the front door and walk off down the lane for a walk in the evening and listening to the the sounds of all the little animals in the hedgerow and what have you, or whatever it is, you know, go for a walk in the mountains. It's a little bit more faff, isn't it? Getting out onto the dinghy and having to row ashore.
I think the thing that I'm going to miss most is space. Having lots of rooms and lots of space to get away from people.
Hello, this is Jack. Welcome to my aft cabin. I would like to give you a tour on where all my belongings live and my books. Here's my window. Here's another one, and obviously there's another one behind me. I've got here, this is the only problem with my aft cabin, it's a leaky cupboard which leads from the outside there. But it's on the urgent priority list, so it's going to be fixed really, really soon. And I'm currently just storing my Lego in there. But when it is fixed, I'll be able to put loads more stuff in there, which is nice. And then my microscope for my nan, drawers which need it, which I'm going to repaint. It's a bit of a mess. My Hot Wheels. Here is my bed. Clara's just off for changing some stuff that needs to go in the bathroom. And then here is all of my books, the beautiful books. There's over 100 in there. Really nice blanket that our friend crocheted for us. I don't really understand the difference between crochet, knitted. I know the difference between sewing. This is my toilet. It's got we're just currently storing stuff in it, and I don't really need it for now, as we have another toilet in the saloon. My washing machine in my charging station. Famous boaters by Grandma, I think. Yeah, Grandma. Here's Lemmy the Lemur, and here's the books that I'm currently reading by David Attenborough. Pretty good. Savage, Stone Age. The Bill Brighton, The Short History of Nearly Everything. Really, really good. Silmarillion. No, I've read that. I finished reading that. That shouldn't be there anymore. It's really good. I love that book. And the A to Z of almost everything, a compendium of general knowledge, 8th edition. It's, you know, on the show, like Chase, like how the people on it, how they're so intelligent. This is the book. It's not heavy. This is the book they use. It's just full, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of facts. Okay, there you go. That's my room. It's a bit messy currently, but I'll tidy it up later. Well, all the things that I want are already on the boat. There's nothing that things that I've left behind that I don't want. Like my lightsabers, for example. That's the only thing that I really care about.
Yeah, the hardest things for me to leave behind are going to be, I've got loads of guitars, and I've managed to trim it down to 3. I've got my Patrick Eggle Berlin Pro, my Takamine acoustic, which is nothing special. It's just a Takamine, but I've had it for years and years and years, and a nylon strung classical.
I think the hardest stuff to leave behind has been my mum's stuff. I had lots of my mum's things from when she passed away, and loads of photos from my childhood, like a suitcase full. And I don't go through them much, but it was quite hard leaving those with my sister. So the current state of the boat, we have made a big dent, believe it or not. But Jack and Andy are sorting out camera kit.
Cables, camera kit, audio visual equipment. rock climbing and hiking gear, harnesses, ropes, and all that kind of rock climbing stuff for the whole family. And it means that that space under the forepeak there, now I've cleared all of that lot, our big first aid kit, our grab bag, which has got all my emergency stuff in, and our first aid kit can live in that space here. Because we don't use that space, and it's just kind of, everything that you put in there just kind of falls out. So I might just put a front on it with a canvas front and a zip, so you can just bung stuff in there like the first aid kit and the climbing gear, and that can be a space for that stuff. This table is going to need completely rehashing over time. I'm going to strip it down and rebuild it and do something clever with it. What we're finding at the moment is it's a little bit, although we can swivel it and we can lift it up and it's very handy to eat off, we don't actually eat off it that much because we're in the water and the boat's moving, so we tend to eat out of a bowl on our lap. More, we do eat at the table, but more than folding the table up. And Ollie is getting to the point where he likes to be put down on the floor on a rug and kind of poodle about. And so what I'm going to do very quickly, I'm going to remove the table and the table leg, and I'm going to put a rug down if I can, so that when it's nice and calm and safe, he can just go on the floor and play with his toys. I know what you're saying, carpet in a boat's a terrible idea, it's a wet environment, carpet's going to get soggy. Totally aware of that. This is a rug that we're putting down so that Ollie can play on the floor. It's not going to be a permanent feature. I'm going to sort the table out, sort the floorboards out, come up with a permanent solution. In the meat, and you know, eventually this will be gone. It's just so that it's nicer place for Ollie to sit on the floor and play with his toys and what have you. And there he is. What are these chairs called?
Bumbos.
They're a bumbo. And the secret with them is don't put them on the table and don't put them on a seat, put them on the floor, because then little man can play with his toys and he can roll around on the rug, which, as I said, is not a permanent thing. It's just while we're figuring out the table solution, and the table solution might be something that we spend a bit of time designing, but in the meantime it just opens up the lounge saloon area and makes the whole place a lot more baby friendly. Are you struggling to reach that there, Ol? Yay! Well done.
Lots of stuff. I had loads of old scribbles in my drawers and like old toys that I never played with anymore. So yeah, just scrap. I had loads of scrap in my drawers.
The easiest thing to leave behind is stuff. Just all the stuff that we've accumulated, just meaningless things that decorate the house or whatever, but just not important. It's just too many things.
Clutter, I think over the years you just accumulate so much stuff. And it's not even valuable stuff, it's junk. I had a loft full of junk and a garage full of junk and stuff that you put to one side thinking, oh, I might use that to build a coffee table or something stupid. And it's been so cathartic just getting rid of all of that junk. Yeah, that's the easiest stuff to leave behind, is just to walk away from all of the rubbish that we had. The next little job, making the place into a bit of a home. These paintings, I had to tape that and glue it. These paintings are by a very good friend of mine called Bob Maddox, and he's an astonishing artist. I'll put some close-ups on there. And I'm honoured to have a small collection. There's a couple actually on Steel Melody, which I'm going to take off Steel Melody and bring here. But I'm honoured to have a couple of these to put in our boat. And the only place really that we can put them is up in the bathroom. I'm going to put one here, I think, and one there. So how do these I don't want to drill anything into this, you see, because it's waterproof, the wall in the bathroom. I don't know if you can see that. I don't want to drill anything into that. There we are. I see. They're basically Velcro, aren't they? The glass in these frames, by the way, isn't glass, it's acrylic. So it's not going to break, don't worry. At the moment, I think orcas, you know, you think about, well, money, orcas and money. How are we going to survive financially? The sort of the biggest worries that I have are, how are we going to survive financially? Which, you know, we've got YouTube, we've got several other income streams, but YouTube makes up a big proportion of that. So that's a concern, being able to provide for the family. But then the other side of it is, you know, there's storms and pirates and big seas and all that kind of stuff. But it seems to me at the minute, the biggest worry is orcas, isn't it? Around the Straits of Gibraltar and that kind of thing. So that's playing on my mind, and we're sort of looking at the research and how we're going to approach that when we get down into that neck of the woods. But yeah, I guess that's the thing that at the moment is in the back of my mind. Oh, something to be a little bit concerned about.
I'm worried that I can't store all the books that I've got, and I've got loads. Mum kind of wants me to get rid of some so I can have more, but I like reading the same book over and over and over again.
My biggest worry about living on the boat, not living on the boat, but travelling and stuff, is just making sure that I provide a good education for the kids without them going to school, which obviously I've already started with Jack, but just being able to do that and get the resources to do that.
There, I think. It doesn't seem very sticky. Well, they're crap. That's garbage. That is absolute garbage. Mission failed. If anybody can think of a better way of sticking this stuff up, I mean, that's clean, dry wall, and these are 3M command strips. Garbage, guys. Don't work. Some you win, some you lose. Right, I'll come back to that. The other thing that I need to stick up is this. That is glass. Now, this is a mirror that was made for me by one of my best mates, Mark. He made it for me years ago, and it's gorgeous. It's all carved wood. I want to replace the glass in that with acrylic. So if anybody knows of any UK suppliers of really, really good quality acrylic mirrors that I can cut to go in this frame, that would be amazing. As I say, any suggestions for fixings for things like this to go in the bathroom on a wall that I don't want to drill because it's, you know, a moisture barrier, so I don't want to put holes in it. But that 3M, what are they called? Command strips. Garbage, don't work.
I'm excited about having less stuff and more time to spend and do things with the family.
Sailing off to Greece, and swimming in nice, like, panoramas. Oh, that'd be so nice.
I think it's this really kind of childish sense of wonder of taking your home with you. The sense that everything we have is within this thing. I guess van lifers kind of get the same sensation. Everything you have and all your worldly belongings is on this movable thing that you can, and if you don't like it where you are, you can, yeah, I think that's what it is. The fact that if you don't like where you are, or you just thinking, oh, I'm fed up with it here, you can just move the whole thing, all of your worldly possessions in one package, one hold-all, one big floating hold-all, and just go and find somewhere else. It's the middle of the night, it's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and everything's fine. But I'm having a bit of a sleepless night. it's all good, but it is blowing an absolute gale out there. There's a huge race going on this weekend. Apparently there's a load of speedboats in. So there's speedboats and jet skiers. I'm going to reserve my opinion on speedboats and jet skis. We'll go and look at it. It might be quite interesting. But they're all coming in this weekend. Loads of them to race around the cans outside the marina. Lovely. But I'm not sure how well they're going to get on, because at the moment, come outside and have a look at what's going on. What have we got? We've got 20 knots at the moment. I thought, oh, that'll be some real cool footage to show them of how horrible it is out there, but you can't see anything. Yeah, it's 20 knots, 25 knots consistent, but it's gusting at 50 easy. It is absolutely brutal out there. And it's pitch black and pouring with rain. So I'm just going to have a cup of tea, and everything on the boat is just vibrating and humming. It's quite cool, actually.
I don't really actually know what it'd feel like. I think we do fairly well. Maybe get on each other's nerves every now and then.
Yeah, I think that's going to be inevitably going to be an issue, isn't it? The boat's a big boat, so we've got an aft cabin and an enclosed cockpit and a saloon and a forepeak. So there are 4 of us living on the boat, and effectively there are 4 different spaces that we can go to be in. So we will be able to mitigate that by eventually having space that we can all go to just get away from everybody. And then, you know, going back to what I was saying earlier about getting out, you can always get in the dinghy and go off for a walk on the beach and, you know, find some time for yourself. But you know what? I'm not as hot-headed as, I mean, I was never hot-headed anyway, but I'm not the kind of hothead that I was in my 20s. So finding, Melissa and I don't argue, we don't bicker. So I don't think that's going to be a huge deal.
I'll probably be the first to get cabin fever. No, small space is fine. I think there's enough areas of the boat to get away from each other, but certainly need time ashore, because we all need time away from each other.
Melissa's just arrived back from fetching Jack from his sleepover, and we're going to go and watch this speedboat race, which is just over there.
Just working out the course, and I think by all accounts it goes up there and then round in front of this wall.
Amazing. All I can show you at the minute are trailers, because all the boats are in the water. Right, they're going. Here we go. Here comes the race.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
All right. 19, Jeremy! Jeremy!
A little bit of a problem. One of the boats flipped.
It's still there. Yeah.
So.
Is that the nose you can see?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's the nose of the boat
Can you see the neon?
sticking up out the water. I don't know how they're going to recover that, but they've obviously, these guys know what they're doing. There's probably some way of doing it, and I'm guessing they're trying to get the people who were in the boat out of the water and over here. So we're going to go and have some lunch. Quite dramatic. That was race number 2, and it's the second boat to flip over because of the choppy conditions and the wind. But we're going to go and have some lunch. It's very interesting and absolutely fine, but not really our cup of tea. Is speedboat racing. So we're going to go and have some lunch and carry on making the boat a comfortable place to live.
In an effort to make more storage, I'm turning this hanging locker to a shelf locker. In order to do that, I need to take these shelves out, and then we're going to put big, deep shelves in here. We've got somewhere else to hang stuff, hang like wet clothes, but in here it's just going to make more deep storage.
this is now the situation inside the cupboard. It's clearly been modified several times over the years, which is kind of normal for boats. I'm just mulling about whether to take these out, because the back of these look like they might be glassed in. So looking at this bulkhead here, it's not a bulkhead, it's just a cupboard divider. It's got some tabbing, I think, to glass it to the hull at the back there, but it only comes down to this shelf, because it doesn't even exist there. It's not doing anything critical. Having done some investigation in that cupboard, it's going to be a bigger job than we can do today. I've ripped all of this lot out, which is all the old shelves, which are not the kind of layout that we want. They're fine, but they're not the layout that we want, and they've been kind of cobbled together over the years. The cupboard now looks like this. There's a kind of bulkhead that's been chopped up and some funny shelves. I'm looking forward to doing some decent woodwork in there, and I like doing woodwork, and I like doing it properly as and when I can. So far in all the projects that we've had, I've been doing other stuff, you know, big metal work on Steel Melody and getting this boat sort of functional. So that will be a nice a nice carpentry project to do, but it needs doing right, I think. So I'm going to cobble it together for now, just so we've got somewhere to put stuff that's in the aft cabin, because we've got to store stuff, move stuff from the aft cabin to there to do stuff in the aft cabin. So you are going to see me put some shelves, put some stuff in that cupboard, not properly, but I've earmarked it as a job that's totally non-essential but totally non-trivial. So it needs doing, and it needs doing right, but it's not a boat sinker, so it doesn't need doing now, and I'd rather cobble something together and do it right and do it properly later. Right, I want to make it very clear, this is my very least form of carpentry. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. But it's good enough for now. I've got some mahogany sapele shelves put up. So we've got shoes down here, and then 1, 2, 3 shelves for putting all the stuff that's currently in the aft cabin. And I need to move the stuff that's in the aft cabin because I want to do some plumbing and some wiring and stuff in there. So I've got to get that stuff out of there into some sort of organised fashion, but I hate this. Yeah, and it's
but it makes your wife happy because she can put stuff away.
Yeah, okay.
For now.
So I want it on record that I hate this, and it is a temporary measure that I'm going to do a proper job on when we're more settled into the boat. So there you go, we are now living aboard the boat. Sorry, there was nothing much happening in this episode in terms of grand project or boat work or building anything impressive. But the boat is now a comfortable family home. We're still unboxing loads of stuff.
Yeah, and everything gets moved to move, and it's just...
We have to move everything to get to the one thing that we need to get to next. So, but that's boat life for you, and that's fine. So over the next couple of 3 weeks, you'll see us start to settle into boat life, and the boat will look tidier and tidier. And there's lots and lots of interior stuff that needs to happen. Need to sort out the woodwork and the veneers and the sole boards and the headlining, the deck headboards and all of that stuff, and we're aware of that. So no doubt some of you are itching to comment, oh my goodness, look at the state of that woodwork, you need to sort that out. Yeah, we know.
There's plenty of projects coming up soon.
Yeah.
Interior and exterior.
And until then, in the meantime, see you next time on Sailing Melody. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks again to our patrons. Thanks for your likes and comments. Bye guys. Bye.